and welcome back to Radio Geonosis, where we talk about Star Wars from a certain point of view. I'm Angie.
I'm David.
And today we are here in San Gabriel, California for the Saber Costume Build Party, aka Kelmo Con, with our hostess with the mostest, Kelly Moreno. But before we do that, we'll just talk about a little bit of Star Wars. That's anything going on this week? Maybe some hints on the new Han Solo movie?
No.
No? Nothing?
Not yet. But that movie's kind of like 2 months, man.
All right,
better
well,
start trying to publicize that somehow.
well, we'll be ready. We'll be ready for it. But anyways, Kelly, you want to tell us a little bit about what's going on today at Kelmo Con?
Oh, well, today I'm hosting a build party. So that's very common in a lot of the Star Wars costume clubs where we get together and we build armor and sew things and pimp out our lightsabers and fix stuff that's broken. And so, so everyone brought all their tools and all their costumes and we're fixing it up and make it pretty.
And this one we're doing today is for the Saber Guild. Is that correct?
Yes. So today is for Saber Guild, but of course anyone is invited. But usually to keep the numbers down and so everyone can have a place to work, we kept it to Saber Guild today.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool because I know the 501st does it. I know that the Mandos do it. So it's really cool to be able to be here and to see this all happening. Now, we also have Anthony with us today, and he's part of the Saber Guild as well. All three of us are part of the Saber Guild. So, and Anthony, what are you having done today?
Let's see. Hopefully I'm getting myself I'm getting my mask done. Hopefully they can get some replacement visor. It looks a little green and warped, so I want to make sure that I can actually see in combat. Not to mention I wanted to check with my boots, just make sure they were approvable, to get rid of some of the belts and stuff, but apparently it's perfectly fine.
Because all costumes have to be LFL approved. Is that correct?
Lucasfilm approved, yes.
That's cool. That's cool. Now, Kelly, I want to ask you, what got you into Star Wars?
Oh, man. So, when I was a kid, my brother had a lot of the Star Wars toys, and I would wait until he would go to school. He's 6 years older, and then I would steal them out of his closet, and I would play with them.
Did he have them set up in a certain way so that if he came home, he'd know you'd been in there?
I don't think so. Or maybe he did and just didn't tell me. I don't know. He used to chase me around with an Admiral Akbar doll because I thought it was scary.
It's a trap!
Yeah, he would chase me around the house and I would run away screaming. But really, the real Star Wars fandom came in with my obsession of Harrison Ford.
Ooh.
So, Han Solo, he was kind of like...
We all have our thing.
Yes. So it was really Han Solo, and then I followed him to, all the Star Wars adventures and Indiana Jones and all of that.
Did you read a lot of the books, or?
Oh yeah, all the Star Wars books, and now aren't canon anymore. And
but they're still. I think they're EU. I mean, they're extended universe, right?
Extended universe.
Expanded?
So yeah.
Or expanded.
Yeah,
Expanded.
Yeah. So yeah, I read. There's a Han Solo series that came out when I was in junior high. I read all of those, and I read all the new books too. So all the Aftermath books now and all of that.
So it's just poured into what it is today.
Yes.
How many groups are you a part of?
3. So I'm a 501st member with an Iden Versio Inferno costume, and I'm a Rebel Legion member with my Jedi, and also Saber Guild with my Jedi.
Woo!
Yeah!
Good for you. Now, Anthony, tell us about you.
Sorry. Anyway, so here's how it goes. I'm also a member of the Saber Guild. If you already haven't said it 1,000 times, which is perfectly fine. I am a Sith, but I'm also working my way towards a potential approvable Jedi. So that's gonna be pretty fun. I'm just getting psyched for WonderCon coming up for our big performance, and our host over here will be a part of the show. Right?
Yes. I'll actually be doing a Sith. Now, the last time you and me had a battle, I was a Jedi.
Yes, and I trained you well.
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did. I'm also working my way towards being a very fine voice actor. Trust me, our host here can't have a straight face without me whenever I sound like Watto.
So he's got to do the Watto for us.
He's got a good Watto, yeah.
Oh, do I have to do the Watto?
You have to do the Watto.
I don't want to. You have to pay me credits.
No Jedi mind tricks?
No Jedi mind tricks.
Pretty good.
I don't accept Republic credits. Only money. Well, I did say I would take credits, but thank you very much. But anyway, down to Oswaldo.
So he does a lot of good voice. I love that. Usually when we do that, he's got me in stitches when we're trooping or we're doing a show. So David, do you have any questions?
Why do you like Iden Versio so much?
Well, she's a strong female character within the Empire side. Usually we hear about Darth Vader, Emperor Palpatine, and the original trilogy Empire characters. We had Princess Leia on the Rebel side, and she's a strong female character on that side. And I was excited that we had a female TIE pilot because I was building a TIE pilot anyway to join the 501st, and then this came up, and I like strong women. I like strong women characters, and I think it was cool it was on the opposite side versus always being on the good guy side.
Female empowerment.
Well, I do like strong female characters too. I mean, I like Wonder Woman because I remember as a kid, I really loved watching her.
Yeah.
I loved now Angelina Jolie's Laura Croft. I know that there would be arguments about it, but I really loved her character, and that was my very first cosplay was Laura Croft. The Angelina Jolie version of it. Yes.
Which was based off of the original video game version, but regardless, it's still the same costume nonetheless.
Right. But I really like that. I do like the strong, and I've always wanted to, anytime I've done cosplay, I've chosen strong women characters.
Yes.
But for me, I don't like a lot of exposure kind of costumes. I like costumes that send a strong message, but they're on me.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, and that was what Iden did for the Empire, because really with the 501st, their motto is bad guys doing good, and you can be a stormtrooper or a TIE pilot, or for guys they have Darth Vader, they have Palpatine, they can do a Boba Fett, and for women there wasn't. I like the pilots and I like the stormtroopers, but to be something a little bit different where people know, like, you're an Iden, you're a female in a TIE costume, and so when we do troops, and a lot of little girls, like when they figure out that I'm a girl, when they see me without a helmet, they get so excited, and it's really cool.
Before Iden, my apologies for interrupting.
That's okay.
But yeah, before
We're all
Iden,
about
it was
cutting
just
in because I do it all the time.
I'm aware of that. But yeah, by that time, a female would only be able to be either a stormtrooper or at least an Imperial officer, which you also have that approved as well. Yeah.
Right, but I think this costume stands out.
Correct.
Because girls know it's a woman. And the way the costume is made, it identifies you as a woman, correct?
Yeah, even with the helmet, and it's a character that's known as she's a leader, she's a commander, and
she's one bad
awesome.
woman,
yeah.
bad mamba jamba.
She's a bad mama jama, yeah.
And if I may add, I will say this with an utmost certainty, I can't stand EA, but for the fact of the matter that they did, the game itself was good. I enjoyed Iden Versio as a character. I enjoyed the aftermath of everything. If you guys have played the games, but if you don't want to touch the game, if you want to find the cutscenes on YouTube or whatever, that's fine. Get immersed with her character. Oh yeah, and there was also a book on her.
Yes,
Isn't that right?
there's a book. Yeah.
There's a book that's cool.
Yeah, it was a great book. It's Inferno Squad. I think it's the simple title of it.
Is it canon?
It is. It takes place right after A New Hope. So the book starts with her fighting in her TIE against the rebels before the destruction of the first Death Star. So her story starts right at that point, and then the book takes place in the aftermath, right in between that and Empire.
Oh wow!
So,
that's
I
really
have to
cool.
read that one.
Yeah.
I forgot about that one.
It's a good book. I really enjoyed the story. I enjoyed her character. I enjoyed learning about the Inferno Squad because it's essentially just a special forces group. So they put together to go.
Well, I'm glad they didn't take some of that out.
Shippers.
You know what I mean? Because they've taken certain stories and things out, and I'm glad that they leave some of them in because it makes the storyline even stronger.
Oh, yes.
It makes the storyline stronger for like the Star Wars. Because I thought, at first when they said everything was out, it's like, are they going to start from scratch and start developing new things? But they've left a lot of the meat and potatoes, if you will, in Star Wars. So that's what I love. Jeremy, tell me what you're doing here today at Kelmo Con. And before you do that, tell us that, and then I want you to tell me what got you into Star Wars.
All right. Well, today we are doing some cool stuff. We are building armor, building lightsabers, just doing all the cool Star Wars stuff, making ourselves better, trying to, just get up and running and be a better Star Wars nerds,
But I saw you working on Kelly's costume, so tell me exactly what you were doing for that.
Yeah. So we were building. She is, if you guys haven't seen, or Kelmo of Kelmo Con is also Iden Versio
Yes.
of Battlefront, Inferno Squad. So we were working on her armor. We're bringing it up to spec because she's also part of the 501st. I'm also part of the 501st. We're We're just getting up to spec so she could look awesome. We're installing some side armor on that baby, and we finished it up a little while ago.
That's cool. It looked great. It looked great.
Thank you.
Now, Jeremy, tell me what got you into Star Wars.
Oh, good God! I've been born into it. So it's pretty much like all of us. It's like Star Wars is life.
So you were handed a baby bottle with blue milk in it, basically.
Yep, pretty much, and it's been pumping in my veins ever since. So born and raised on Star Wars, pretty much. It all starts off like we were kids. You get plopped down in front of the TV, and your parents say, "Hey, look at this space movie." When you're a little kid, you don't know what the heck it is, so it's just like, "Hey, this looks cool," and it's pretty much been like that ever since. Then it kind of just grows into it,
And now, how many groups are you part of?
Oh good God, we're part of here: Saber Guild, 501st Rebel Legion, Mando Mercs, pending, but yeah, it's getting there. But so about 4 right now.
That's cool.
Probably 5. If I could take it a second mortgage, I'll do R2 building.
Yay!
Yeah, that's where it gets into the pricey stuff. That's pretty crazy.
It's like, do I want a Volkswagen or an R2 unit? I'm like,
And that's basically the price, because I had talked to someone about that, and he said it was about $4,000 for something for any of the R2s.
yeah. Well, they said $4,000. I think they said $4,000 for a standing R2, so it's like static.
Oh, that's not even moving around.
No, that's I think they said if you want like fully movie accurate, you're running upwards of like 13,000, anywhere between 10 and 13,000.
Wow.
So that's a lot of different lights.
That's a car right there.
Yeah,
moving around car.
Yeah, it's a Volkswagen.
Now tell me your characters. Who in the 501st? Who are you in the Saber Guild? What is your costumes? Mando Mercs, what's your costume? Or even Rebel Legion, and I'm going to go on and on and on and on.
Oh, good God. Yeah, I'm about to go on a little rant right now.
That's okay.
So,
go ahead.
here
We
we
want
go.
to hear
Alright,
it.
so Mando Mercs, of course, is Mandalorian, and then it kind of goes over to both sides. So Mandalorian and Jango Fett. So
Oh, wow.
Jango Fett is pending on both 501st and Mando's end. And then Saber
I didn't know
Guild-
Jango Fett could be in the 501st.
Yeah, he's a costume.
Oh,
he's,
wow.
What do you call it? He's considered one of the bounty hunter classes. So.
Oh, okay.
And depending on the requirements, he could get like kind of split club membership. So you just have to tweak a couple things. So Mandalorian, Jango Fett, Saber Guild and Rebel Legion. I'm a Jedi. I got 2 different Jedis. 501st, I'm a Stormtrooper, Imperial Officer, like I said, Jango Fett. About to be Gideon Hask from Inferno Squad. Rebel Legion, I'm also building a pilot. So I'm going to be a pilot soon too.
So
It's
for
looking
the
good, by the way.
Thank you.
yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that. I saw that
Thank
on
you.
Facebook.
Thank
On
you.
Facebook, but
I
I
know. I'm a Facebook whore, I'm sorry. That's always happening.
that's okay. I like seeing it. It's entertaining.
Aye.
I like seeing all the pictures. I like seeing everyone put their costumes together. I like to see the different ideas and how people see themselves in Star Wars, in the world of Star Wars. What's their character that they want to be, how
In
can I
general?
say? Yeah, what they're projecting to other people, what they see for themselves. You know what I mean? And I like that. I like to see what it's interesting to see, like, I want to be this or I want to be that, and I love to see everyone's ideas.
And then just being an original character. I mean, yeah, sure. Like, when it comes to being a canon character, a lot of the kids and fans will be like, oh, I know this guy. But then when they see someone else, it's like, oh, it's not so much. But however, if they walk up to you and they ask you, hey, what's your character? You gotta get them immersed in who you are and how you were brought up, your origin story. So it's like, oh, this guy's an interesting original character, and I'm like, I would like to get in on that kind of deal.
When kids see stormtroopers, like I know you have a stormtrooper costume, I think kids automatically run to you because they know what this character is.
Oh yeah, it's iconic. You know, it's global. You know, it's just they don't even really have to understand what it is. They see it and they're like, okay, it's a Star Wars. That's all they know.
Right. Right.
So they'll walk up to you, and I feel like it's kind of like we were talking about like a second ago. It's kind of like a fine line you kind of walk. It's like between being a canon character and original character or whatnot. Because I mean, you know, it comes down to like kind of why you got into this. It's like, you know, I got into this because, you know, it's just you want to make kids smile. You know, you enjoyed it as a kid. I enjoyed it as a kid. And it's just like I remember how much I enjoyed it because like I was, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I was a privileged kid growing up. I had both parents. They were able to show me the film, so I grew up in a pretty good environment.
That's a good environment.
But the thing is, it's like, you know, a lot of the kids that we do this stuff for, they don't come from those environments.
Right,
so it's like they don't get to experience this. They don't get, you know, they don't get to have as privilege of a child. And so sometimes you just got to bring a smile to those kids' face. So that's why I do it. So whether it's like when you're walking fine, like, you know, if you're a canon character, just kind of you kind of end up making those kids smile like a little bit more, you know? So it's like whether I'm just a stormtrooper or Han Solo or whatnot, you know, they're like, oh, shoot, that's Han Solo right there, you know? It's like bigger smile. Sometimes you don't get that too much on the original characters. And I feel like, you know, it's, say like I'm an original Jedi, right?
Right.
They'll ask you like, who are you? I'm like, oh, I'm Jedi Master so-and-so. They're like, but then who are you? It's like, I feel like the original characters for me, I have fun for myself as an original character because I'm like, I'm finally immersing myself.
You're talking about millennial kids saying, you know, who are you? Or even younger, because now the kids are seeing the New Order, they're seeing the new movies and not really understanding a lot of the history of Star Wars. But that's okay. It's still okay.
Yeah. I mean, no, both ends are okay. I'm just saying, like, for me personally, it's like if I'm an original character, it's more something like for my own enjoyment, as opposed to say if I'm dressing up as like a canon character, I'm doing it more for them to smile more because they're more. That's what they're more familiar with,
right?
And that's why they're like, oh, they get more spectacle out of it.
But I know you're on both sides of that because you have a canon characters and you have your own, like, Jedi characters.
Oh, yeah.
So that's really cool.
I get the most of both worlds. So I'm
yes,
happy
you
with
do.
that.
And
yeah.
I want to know how many sabers you have.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I've seen his collection.
Oh, my God. Yeah,
it's bigger than mine.
like sabers I've owned or sabers I've built?
It could be either or.
Oh, my God. Well, I've had my own little business since 2010. And we're about eight years from there. So I'm in the hundreds.
Oh,
so
wow.
I've built hundreds of sabers. Now, my own personal collection, I've probably gone through about, I'd say, at the moment, I have about 50.
Wow.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's probably closer to 100.
It's like shoes.
Yeah, some have come and gone. I'm not trying to brag, but it's just like you prototype, you build some, you get let go of some people like it, you update. You know, it's kind of just like the, what do you call it? It's kind of the thing of a sabersmith. Hey, Kelly, I'm a sabersmith, you know?
Does she not know that?
I don't know. I just want to let you all know I'm just kidding.
That's okay.
We're having a little joke about that. So.
But that's okay. I like to see how people take those sabers and can move them around, change them, do whatever you want. And I've seen a lot of your stuff on Facebook, and it's great. I love it.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I do watch.
I appreciate it.
And I don't mean in a weird way, but I mean I am watching.
That's fine with me either way. Shoot. I'm kidding.
But that's cool to be able to see that. And I mean, a lot of kids, like you said, don't have that opportunity. And so when we come out and do shows or we troop, you're giving those kids a chance to be able to live that just for the day. And even we do it, you know, as far as going out and dressing in the costumes. We're that Jedi for the day. We're that Sith for the day. We're the Stormtrooper for the day. And it makes you feel good. It really does.
But not only that, but it also gets them even more curious and more interested about how vast the Star Wars universe is. Not to mention the fact that if they're just watching the current films, which is 7 and 8 at the moment, okay, they're gonna love it. If they've watched the original films and the prequel films, cool.
But you never know, that could make them hungry to want to watch it if they've never seen any of the ones in the past.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It makes them more curious to watch the older movies and the prequel movies. Hell, even the Clone Wars, Star Wars Rebels, and even some of the expanded universe.
Are you talking about like the Christmas show?
The Christmas special.
Yes, we will even watch the Christmas special.
Yes, I actually remember.
They need to understand what Life Day is, and they need to celebrate it. So, yeah, there we go.
And they also need to watch the Muppets special where Mark Hamill is Luke Skywalker's cousin.
Oh, wow. I don't know if I've even seen that. I may have to Google that.
Look it up on YouTube, folks.
I may have to. I just may have to, because I don't think I've seen that.
It's hilarious.
I don't know about that.
You gotta see it.
I love seeing Star Wars I've seen it in everything. Even today, because I was getting some food for the party today. And while I'm in the fruit and vegetable section, there's a BB-8 lunch snack thing, so there's all kinds of, Star Wars is in everything. Except for toilet paper. I've not seen it in toilet paper.
Let's actually, well,
That's
okay,
a great idea.
hold on. This is for all the haters, and you're gonna be happy about this. But here's the toilet paper. It says Episode 8 on it.
Oh no!
You can wipe their ass.
He
with
didn't just go there, did he?
I'm just gonna say Star
But no, you
Wars
could
is
totally-
love.
Star Wars is love.
Is life. If you guys know the reference to that, yeah, it's pretty bad, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
But I love it. I have a collection of Star Wars toys that are dog toys. I have a big
I love
collection of that.
I love all the Petco and all the Star
Yes.
Wars stuff that they got.
I
I just
have-
got like Han Solo, Yoda, and Chewbacca mice for my cats.
Oh my gosh!
When
My dogs have got the collars that are Star Wars.
not to make it sad, but when my dog was still around, we still have her AT-AT toy walker, or like
Oh,
little
wow.
It's like a stuffed animal. She chewed off one of the legs, so I'm like, yeah, she's a rebel. That's a crippled walker there.
But yeah, it can go anywhere. Star Wars is expanded all over, so that's really cool.
Different media and whatnot.
So David, do you have any questions?
Yes.
Go ahead and ask.
So, with all the costumes you've done and how diverse they are, what's the one costume that you want to
Eludes
do
him,
That
is
I
the
haven't
most
done yet?
supreme thing
Your favorite, I think.
you can
is
make?
what he's saying.
Oh.
or
God,
something?
what I wanna
Maybe
make?
a wish list,
A
kind
wish
of.
list? Okay, I want to put Boba Fett on the wish list. I mean, granted, Jango Fett's a good compromise, but it's just like Boba Fett's like that's my go-to. I want to do that. It's either him or Emperor Palpatine.
Ooh.
Yeah, I want to do Emperor Palpatine.
Do it. Do it now.
That's one on my list because
God.
get it
I've
on
been
the
studying
list.
him for a while. I love Palpatine. He's my boy.
Yeah.
He's very deep,
Go for Papa Palpatine.
and we talked about how
What the hell is an aluminum falcon?
That was an aluminum falcon. You have any idea what this is gonna do to my credit?
Now get your 7'2" asthmatic ass back here, or I will tell everybody what a whiny bitch you are about Padamami or Panenbear or whatever the hell.
now
her
this
name
is that you're quoting is from.
Oh, this is from Family Guy.
No, Robot
Oh
Chicken.
my
Robot
God.
Chicken. Sorry, Robot
Robot
Chicken.
Chicken.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Family Guy. That's a fail on my part.
No, it's
Robot
okay. It's
Chicken.
okay.
But Robot, I love. They do a lot of those on Robot Chicken. I love it.
My
That was like the
Stormtrooper.
first Star Wars skit they did. Was that one, I think? Oh wait, it was that one or it was the Lincoln one? Or is Darth
there
Lincoln?
was a Lincoln, yeah, Darth
Oh,
Lincoln
no, that was
versus
a-
Bush.
Darth.
Yeah,
Vader.
yeah, that was, yeah.
One of those
That was
two
that
was
one.
the first ones they did.
Yeah.
Was the first Star
Yeah.
Wars.
I'm gonna have to go
No,
and watch this on YouTube. 'cause
It was.
that's-
Oh
it
yeah,
was
I
actually
sent it to you.
it was
Okay.
the first one was actually George Bush mind tricks where he kept making people do things and
Get me
then
a taco. Yes, sir.
tacos rule.
So your ultimate would be
Palpatine or Boba Fett.
now Boba Fett, because the Boba Fett from the
Empire Strikes Back.
Okay,
we'll say
okay.
that. There you go. Because
'Cause-
there's two. I know.
right.
I'm sure
And
there's more than two. There's a few, but yeah, that's.
are the costumes
I
different
always see
from the
6.
old
I don't
ones
ever
in
see
the
episode 5. Jen.
Oh yeah, there's
Boba
so
Fett.
many. Well, if you're like, yeah, there's so many actually different variations because like to the normal fan it'd just be like, oh, it's Boba Fett.
Right.
But no, there's actually his armor was different from Empire Strikes Back to Return of the Jedi, and then also like in between
Yeah.
there's also. I mean, if you want to throw it in there, someone started making the holiday special armor, and then there's also the special editions armor. So there's like little tweaks, actually some big tweaks to his stuff.
Now, in A New Hope, was he, when they were trying to get on the ship, the very first time, trying to get on the Millennium Falcon, I can't even say that right now, was he standing in that hangar?
Mm-hmm. Well,
He
on
was.
special editions, that's one of the variations right there, because they're talking about special edition Boba Fett. That's one of them.
Come join us, John.
Hey.
John joined us at the last time at the Enemy Prop Show, so he's back to sit down and talk with us again.
Hi. Sorry, I'm eating a scone.
You go right ahead. It's
Currently.
because we're doing that at Kelmo Con.
Kelmo Con.
So there are different variations of the.
Oh yeah, there's different variations of his armor and just the costumes. So say like just to list a few. I mean, like you probably go back and look this now. But Empire Strikes Back versus Return of the Jedi. Like gauntlets for one.
Green,
It's like
yeah.
green versus the red. The jumpsuit's like a different tone. It's blue
Different
versus
blaster,
gray.
too.
Wow.
Different
His,
blaster.
his
different
backpack stole that
Yep.
that tannish green. Too.
Different
Jeez, I'm
paint
gonna.
job.
You know what? I must be like such an amateur. I just watch it and it all looks the same.
special edition has a giant flamethrower
Wow.
attached to it. Yeah.
I like the flamethrower. I can go for that because we were talking about how Tesla sells a flamethrower.
Yeah.
Before we got here.
You can build one of those for much cheaper.
Yeah, I know, because they're not even like
Just
real
give me a
flavor. It's not like
lighter and
napalm
like a raid
based.
can. And you're like,
Some hairspray,
It's
if you
like
will.
Kill
it's
it
like
with fire.
That's what it
essentially
used to
a
be.
super expensive blowtorch. It's
Oh my!
not like.
But
a
you know what? It
flamethrower.
has Tesla written on it, so that's what makes it special.
Just-
give
Oh, I
me-
know, it
just give
does
me-
it. It
Just
has-
give me a Sharpie. I
It's
just write that on there.
it's made by the Boring Company.
Boring Company.
That's the.
Oh, that's his
Oh
company.
my
Yeah.
gosh! What a name! I'm part of the Boring Company
And we
because
sell
nothing happens at my
flamethrowers at the
company.
bar.
Well, it's ironic.
So, John, what are you doing at Kelmo Con today?
I was helping some people put some lightsabers together that have never put a saber together before. So just teaching basics like soldering and what goes where.
That would have been me.
Yeah, well, there's
Burning
still
my
time.
hand.
There's still time. Yeah. We've got
Still
a few
time for
hours.
me to burn my hand.
Yeah, but
Thank you, Jeremy.
see it.
He's on his way to Disneyland. So
Oh, is he?
keep
Is he
going. Keep
Oh,
going.
okay. No, yeah, just teaching them how to do that. Jen put 2 sabers together already, and Kelly
that's
put one together
cool.
too. Yeah, so everyone's doing what I'm showing them, so it's great.
I want to try and get a little bit of leather on mine, but I don't know. Maybe we'll do it in a little bit.
You got him bug Marcus about that.
Okay.
He's the leather guy.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun. Yeah, and there's a little lathe going, so you can turn a saber if it's really simple and you want a little more intricate. You can go in and.
Is that what it's called? Because I didn't know if it was like a grinder or if it
No,
was
yeah.
a...
So he actually brought a wood lathe, which is not for metal, because it doesn't spin fast enough, and I'm sure there's other technical things about it that aren't correct, but it works just fine for what we're doing, which is just kind of digging in a little bit into the metal and putting new lines in or chamfering them, making them different angles, which is cool because you take a little simple hilt and you turn it into something custom.
Something fancy, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think, I have for me, I don't like my sabers, my hilts to have too much, jizz jazz on them. Because then it makes it harder for me to keep it in my hand and to spin it around. And so I like them pretty basic. But I do like all of the special, etching and things like that. It gives it a special look.
The etching is like an extra step already, because that's just like a artistic embellishment,
Right,
and it's
right.
not so much function. It's not really practical at all.
Right.
But I'm sort of the same way you are. I like them really simple, but I like the angles and the cuts to be practical. So if the cut is right, it needs to be at the top where the choke is, so you can spin it easier rather than at the bottom where it's not supposed to be there. So if it's cut a certain way where it's enough lines to where it makes it comfortable, then I'm okay with that. But
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't like it too busy and too many trinkets on
Because
it.
I will put it in my hand, and if it feels weird, I don't like it.
Yeah, if there's
To
things
me,
go.
Anakin's just doesn't look functional at all.
No.
It's not. It's got a big old. It looks like it's got a big old kind of
Oh, is that
switch
block
on it. Yeah, and it just seems
Yeah.
real busy, and I don't like it. It doesn't feel comfortable. I
That's
don't know
only
how.
'cause-
That's maybe how he got his hands cut off.
It must have been. But yeah, those props were made from camera flashes. Not Anakin's per se, but the rest of that Graflex line was a camera flash. So it wasn't really ergonomically designed at all to be a lightsaber, and they just looked really in universe and looked kind of old but new, and that's why they used it. But after that, they started going more comfortable things and more specific to the movie rather than just a found.
You're
prop.
talking like from New Hope to Return of the Jedi.
No, I'm saying like prequels on, like from the prequels is where they started like, okay, let's manufacture our own lightsaber hilts rather than use found like camera flashes or like grenade sections from other
Right,
things.
right.
Or, turbine pieces from Bentley piece or whatever, Rolls Royce or whatever they're using. for
Wow,
Obi-Wan.
that was a fancy saber.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like the basis for them's all camouflage. That's like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's
but
on
you know,
there?
I just like, I don't like the way some of them look, and I like the way others look. I like them to be simple, but stand out and be, you know what I mean, and have like a real fancy look to it. But if it has too much, you know, gobbledygook on it, I don't
Yeah.
like it. You know, I just that's
I
just me
prefer
with
the
sabers.
function over fashion.
Yes,
Definitely when it
yes,
comes to
that's like high
lightsaber
heels
hilts,
over
yeah.
flats kind of thing.
Yeah, it's just if it's practical. If it's not practical, then there's no point other than it just being nice and flashy.
Exactly.
Which, yeah.
But see, that's why that's one of the reasons why I came to you whenever it came to getting sabers, because the saber that the sabers that I currently have, the 2 KRs, the one that you had the etches in and the leather straps.
Yeah, I like
see,
that.
it didn't need any attachments layered on top. You had what you had there.
Yeah.
And it's pretty fantabulous. Fantabulous.
And send it to me.
Yeah, this is
It's my
a
camera's horrible on this one.
this is definitely one of my favorite designs. Yeah, it's simple. You have the leather, which is good for the
And we're
grip.
going to take a picture so I could post it on our Radio Geonosis page.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, John.
He cut his own hand
He
off.
was, he was our model.
Clumsy like Skywalker. Always gets his arm cut off.
Yes, all of them do. We talked about that. In the movies, you notice that a lot of people got their hands and arms cut off.
And someone
the-
did in the last one too. It was a scene that was cut from the movie, so we didn't
Really?
get to see it.
Dang it.
There was
I'll
someone
let
that lost a
Anthony
limb.
explain it to
All
you.
right, thank you.
Thank you for joining. Sorry, I'm just a special guest, but anyway,
That's okay.
Um,
Finish that scone, John. Finish that scone.
Thank you.
finish it. Do it. But
Do it now.
but yeah. So if no one has noticed yet, in the deleted scene with Finn fighting Phasma, there's one part where
Does her hand get cut off?
yes, it is actually her hand that gets cut off. So if it was in the movie, I still believe it's part of the movie because that's actually a better way for Phasma to go out instead of that other way. But anyways,
She fell down. She
fell down a shaft. She didn't lose any of her limbs, like a burning shaft or whatever.
Now that's a Palpatine way to go.
No, that's the stupidest.
I
way
think
to
she's
go.
she's
But-
gonna.
Well, you know,
She'll come back.
Palpatine got thrown down a shaft, didn't he?
Yeah, but he exploded with he became one with the Force, the dark side of the Force. So we know he's dead. She basically
Or
pulled.
is he?
She
Because he had clones.
that was expanded universe, but she went the way of Boba Fett. And when I say went the way of Boba Fett, if there's no body, then there you go. She can still come back again, and hopefully she'll be.
Do you think
written better.
you're talking about
But-
how Boba Fett came back?
He hasn't come back yet. He hasn't come back
Do
yet.
you think there's a possibility?
He's too old now. I mean, he's basically
He's Han Solo's age.
yeah, he's Han
About-
Solo's age, but
give or
I'm sure he probably still trains himself. I mean, but anyways, back to what I was saying before. Yes, when she shot down all the stormtroopers just so that way she wouldn't be suspected for what she did at Starkiller Base.
Right.
Finn saw the opportunity and took the attack, went on the attack, and struck her hand down with the gun when she was about to fire at him. In which case, you see I'm gonna call it a vibro baton. The vibro baton lapped off her entire hand. There was no bleeding. It must have cauterized the wound like a lightsaber.
There
would.
was only one scene where there was blood. Only one scene. It was the bar at Mos Eisley.
Oh yeah. Well,
That's the only one.
There's a reason for it.
that whole lizard thing, liquid.
No, yeah, he's
He
the
can't
aquila
they
species. Their blood doesn't coagulate.
They don't cauterize. Or whatever.
Yeah, because their blood
Yes.
is non-coagulative.
Yeah.
Yes,
So it
so
still
that's why.
bleeds.
But that's the only one. Everybody else.
Don't you
who's-
mean the flesh is not non-coagulative? Coagulative?
I think it said their blood was.
It's because when I say it doesn't cauterize the wound, meaning
Yeah,
the
just-
flesh,
yeah,
the
it's not
flesh,
burned.
the flesh would have to be the same as the blood. So, in another way, the lightsaber could not cauterize the flesh and the blood. That's why it brought out the bleeding.
Either way,
So,
but yeah,
yeah.
there is a reason in universe for it.
Yes, which is still considered canon.
But they should have left that scene in, because I think it would have been great in the movie, because it really ties into a lot of hands being cut off in a lot of the movies.
Yeah.
So I think it should have stayed, because it seems like in
I think
almost
that's
every
why they
one.
took it out, to try and keep it separate from Empire a little bit.
Well, I mean, it happened in Empire. It happened in Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, but hold on though. See that's the thing though. A lot of fans, the ones that did or didn't hate the movie, they were actually expecting someone to lose a limb, because it's like, oh, okay, here's the second film in the trilogy, so someone's gonna have to lose a limb.
Yeah, that's why I think they didn't do it.
And then, yeah, they wanted to get rid of that predictability, and I'm like, no, that's basically a slap to the face to the fans, because they wanted to see a chopped limb, which case we got the Phasma deleted scene. And not to mention the fact that I think everyone would have seen continuity errors anyways, because a vibro blade or anything vibro at all, I don't think they would cauterize a wound like a lightsaber would. So I guess when it got popped off...
Well, maybe, because they're designed to be in combat with lightsabers. Maybe they're energized some way. I actually don't know enough about vibroblade technology. I'd have to look
We need to
that.
Google that.
Well, no. But see, that's the thing. We haven't seen any vibro technology besides what I consider is the vibro baton. But we don't know if it is considered a vibrotech.
Wow.
I'd have to imagine it'd still be going along the same route, though, because they can hold off lightsabers.
Yes, that is true.
So I imagine there has to be some sort of energy in it.
Who knows? They may just do do another movie and put a lot of the deleted scenes in. I like when they do that, because they did it with the first two. I think it's the first two Harry Potters they did that with, and it made it seem like it was more. It had more sense to it. And, and some of the deleted scenes that I watched in 1, 2, and 3 episode Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, or with Revenge of the Sith, when they put those, when you see the deleted scenes, a lot of them that makes sense, or that they should have added that.
It's because we have those kinds of fans that want to look and nitpick any sort of continuity errors within films, because the fact that when you bring up Harry Potter, there's a lot of inconsistencies and plot holes from the movies. That's why a lot of the readers didn't like some of the films.
Right.
And for me, for me, I'm just a lazy dude. I
have not read the books either, so don't feel bad.
They're thick books.
I know. My son's read them all.
But anyways, we're going off topic here. Point is, if there is any sort of continuity errors, some of them will either be rectified in the next film, or in a comic book, or a book in general.
Now, David told me that he thinks. I think we talked about it. I can't. No, it was actually Vince that told me in the next movie this will be the last one for Finn, Rey, Rose, everybody. Because he thinks that they won't go forward after that with these characters. They're going to go somewhere else with other characters.
Well, I mean, who knows? There's going to be a TV series, so why not? I can't remember his name, but he was one of the X-wing pilots in Episode 7. It was that big guy. I don't remember, but yeah, he was given the green light to make a TV series for Star Wars. So who knows what direction Star Wars is going to go. There was a thread that I read up years and years ago when Disney got the licensing, and when they announced for Episode 7 that they plan to do 40 years of Star Wars films. So before even when we're not alive anymore, the Star Wars universe will continue to expand
on.
And continue on even without us.
I'd like to see them go back in time and do, and I've said this many times, I'd like to see
the Old Republic.
I'd like to see that, because then you're going to see big battles with Jedi and Sith. Because right now, a lot of the battles that we've seen has been one-on-one.
Yeah.
We've not seen
armies
an army
Sith
of Jedi, and I would like to see that. I really would.
It's only because they need to, in my opinion, they need to go from they need to give a different company a shot to directing and creating a Star Wars movie. but within the fans' interest, of course.
Right.
The reason why I
I
say
would
this,
think that somebody who's a big fan, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
No,
I
no, go
would think
ahead.
that someone, let's say someone who's a big fan who is wanting to get into directing could do something like that.
yeah. I'm just saying with a different. I'm saying with a different company, like for example, like Paramount's done a couple of Disney films that was under the Disney name, but they let them do it their way. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking they should go down that route, because if they keep control, if they don't let any other companies do it their way, and because they'll do it their way, which is the Disney appropriate way. I'm doing air quotes. Side note. The reason why I say that is because they'll be like, let's not have any cut limbs or death or whatever. I'm like, okay, there's been a couple of deaths in episode 7, episode 8 in their current films, which is fine. But they need to add more dark. Okay, in my opinion, they need to add more dark and grittiness, like they did with Rogue One. That was a fantabulous
But
movie.
that's before 7 and 8.
Yeah, I know. I understand that. That's why I'm saying if they want to go down the Old Republic, then they need to go down the dark and gritty.
Right. And I'd like to see that. I would really like to see that.
Not to mention the fact that if they could get Timothy Zahn's Admiral Thrawn in there, then they can get Lord Revan. They can get the Old Republic. They can write. Okay.
I'd like to see that.
All the expanded universe characters that are after A New Hope or whatever, they could probably write them in on Old Republic. Like you could have Kyle Katarn and you could have Mara Jade or whatever.
Right.
Well, okay. That's
But
I'm kind of
apparently-
stepping on toes on the
Okay,
Mara Jade though, because
but-
it's not with Skywalker. But anyway,
Apparently, in the book, he's married.
yes.
The book they just released.
What, Kyle
he
Katarn?
No, Luke Skywalker.
Luke Skywalker is married.
There's mentionings of his wife or something like that.
Really?
So
Don't
maybe
know if
they've
she's
left
dead or alive.
they've left the door open for that. Okay, so we're coming to the end of our show, and we've been observing different things at Kelmo Con, and it's a saber and costume build party.
Yes.
I've seen a lot of cool things. People making cool things, working on sabers, cutting into different sabers, adding leather to it. People working on costumes, sewing costumes, and even we watched Jeremy do a lot of work on Kelly's costume, and that was all the it's like the armor and the plastic.
Like the chest plate for
Right.
the TIE Pilot.
Yes.
Item Versio TIE Pilot.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. I really enjoyed it. I hope we can come back and do it again. We're going to try and have pictures for you for the, I'll try and get some pictures so we can post it onto our page. David, do you have anything to add to that?
I really liked it. I thought it was, it's stuff I've seen and done before, but like Marcus took those two sabers, they're exact same thing, and used a lathe to make one look completely different.
Right,
I just
right.
love that. It's
thought
one of the best parts.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool the way they did that, because there were two of the same saber and made them look totally different.
Yeah.
And John showed us how to do different soldering with and fixing your saber, or maybe changing out a light. We've learned how to make the saber brighter by taking the foil out of the blades and maybe adding a different color inside, or using a different color blade itself with a hilt that has red or green or blue.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool to learn that.
Yeah, that was neat. I didn't think about it like that. I mean, I built sabers before, and I never thought about altering color that way for a different color or for a brighter, more intense color like you were showing with the green saber. So.
Right. And I thought that was kind of cool to be able to learn that, and to be able to put the paper inside, because that has been one of the things that I've been trying to do is, put the cellophane inside, and I've not been successful with it because I've either cut it too short, too long, too much, too little. So today Jeremy showed us how to do that, and I thought that was really cool.
Oh yeah, it was great. Great information. It'd be interesting to record them doing stuff too one day.
Yeah.
Just get different information out there for other builders.
Yeah,
that was great.
Yeah, to be able to take pictures. And like I said, we're going to try and take some pictures so that we can get it up onto our Facebook page at Radio Geonosis. Woo-hoo. So yes, thank you everyone for listening in.
Oh yeah, and make sure you send us a like on Facebook and also, like and subscribe on YouTube as well.
Yes. Subscribe onto our YouTube page, Radio Geonosis. So from beautiful San Gabriel, California, we are saying so long.
Yay!